Hello everyone, welcome to episode 32 of the What the Sheep podcast, where we will be breaking down and discussing Critical Role Campaign 2 episode 122. Oh boy, this was a good one. I thought last week was good. This one is even better. In some aspects, even better. In some aspects, we tried to manifest Beau Yasha. Didn't happen. But that's okay. We'll get it eventually. We're gonna get it eventually. It's not like it's going anywhere. Well, you see, it's kind of scary to say that because, they're dealing with powers greater than themselves, and the idea of one of them dying is kind of a looming threat right now. So never say never, maybe? As really scary as that sounds, I suppose. But I guess to open discussion for this episode, one thing that I've noticed and is kind of really sad when you really think about it and stuff is how, and I've kind of touched on it before in previous WTS episodes, how Yasha kind of has to, they all have to meet Lucien all over again because obviously they knew Molly. Lucien is not Molly. But again, specifically for Yasha, since I feel like Yasha had the closest connection with Molly, having these really intense conversations with Lucien is going to be really difficult for Yasha to come to terms with. And they kind of touched on it a little bit last week's episode and a little bit this week's episode where, Yasha and Beau were like, this is so weird. And they don't really know what to think of Lucien. So it's got to be really hard, especially, and again, this is jumping ahead later in the episode, when they were discussing and they noticed that they were being scryed on. It was hovering over Yasha. Now, they probably were just rotating between the members of the Mighty Nine, so it might not be anything more than that. But if they specifically chose Yasha first, maybe that means something. Maybe it means she's more important. But it could just be, surface level stuff. It could just be as simple as, they're just rotating through different members of the Mighty Nine. I got something in my eye. Heck. Anyways, this is a weird day. But this conversation had a lot of, or not this conversation, but this episode had a lot of conversations in it. I feel like, Lynn, you were sort of mentioned this is one of the densest episodes ever. There was quite a bit of information that was fed to us this episode, but also not a whole lot happened. Like they progressed the story in the sense of they all learned more information, but they didn't get much farther than, last week's episode. I noticed a lot of people saying how, it's going to be hard for, Jester and Beau. Yeah, definitely. Especially, because, Beau, had that moment of vulnerability with Molly, the episode, or maybe close to the episode that he died. So that's definitely a big thing for Beau. But what I find interesting about Lucien is that while, he's very arrogant, I don't think that needs, more explaining. He's still very calculated. And he picks up on, on the subtle things. And what I found interesting is that he asked the party what their goals were, what their hopes and dreams are. And I feel like for Lucien, that's probably a good way to judge or determine, who they really are. I feel like you can tell a lot about someone by what their hopes and dreams are. And it's easier for Lucien to have a innocent conversation like that rather than, maybe have more upfront questions that are like super obvious. At least this way you can sort of gauge where the party's headspace is at by asking these, what are your goals? What are your ambitions? What do you hope to accomplish? Which then also, kind of makes things a little bit sus, considering later on in the episode when Caduceus communed with the Wild Mother, and he was saying how, does Lucien need us alive when we reach there, or does he need us alive at all? He has two different questions about needing us alive, and the answer was no every time. So not everyone needs to be alive, but does he need like some people alive? That's sort of the big question that was, looming over us in that situation. And going back to my previous talking point of Lucien asking the parties what their goals and aspirations are, maybe is that his way of possibly weeding out the people that he doesn't really need alive? That's something to think about. So I'm trying to. It's hard to read chat and also like monologue at the same time. So when I pause, I'm trying to keep up with chat. I think on a meta level, Matt might also have wanted to get a read on where the players were. Oh, that's an interesting point. I didn't think of it that way. Huh. Pretty good. They could just modify his memory and give him his memories back. He only needs Beau and Caleb, I think. Oh yeah, I guess maybe now, considering that craziness that happened at the end of the episode. But we'll get to that. We'll save that for the end, because that was. I don't have like a lot to say about that. But I really no, you guys, no, y'all don't have to shut up. Oh yes, Adam, I did see that. Let me bring that up on my second monitor, and we'll be able to. I'll bring up those talking points when we get to it. So yeah, we'll talk about the whole eye stuff and the book a little bit later on. But yeah, all that stuff was super interesting. But then Caduceus's goals, kind of piqued a lot of people's interests when he said, one of his goals was to save a soul. Was he talking in a general sense, like at some point in my life, I just want to say that I saved someone, or I brought them to the right path, or was he specifically talking about Ford, maybe, or maybe even Lucien himself, and he's trying to be a little cheeky stinker about it? He said he wanted to help Molly and fight with the others. I don't think Lucien is as special as he claims to be. It's another tool. And I feel like I think I can agree with that. He confirmed it was Lucien. Oh, I probably totally missed that. And that's an interesting point, Adam. And I feel like if that is true, it might be starting to show with his slightly wavering confidence and his apprehension with doing certain things. That could be possible. And I feel like Cree's bad business. I think we can all kind of agree that Cree is probably not on the up and up. I feel like Cree senses Lucien's wavering, stability. And I feel like if it comes down to it, Cree won't hesitate to cut Lucien out if he feels that he won't be able to complete the mission. I feel like it's a really strong possibility. Hello, Lake. Welcome. Welcome. New to the channel. Well, take a seat. We are chilling and talking about Critical Role. Oh, Cree, I think, is actually running it. That is also possible. He wants to save a heart, a mind, and a soul. Oh. So the soul he wants to save is Lucien. Does he also want to save Lucien's mind and heart, or was he saying that as three separate people? He wants to save someone's heart, someone's mind, and someone's soul. What do I think of Cat Lucien? Listen. If Lucien can just remain a cat, I think all of our problems will be solved. So I think that that's where I'm at with that. This is my first live stream. Love your work, and thank you for stopping by. I'm glad you're here with us. Or Cree might become so disillusioned that she wants to pursue this herself. I could see that. However, I feel like all the Tomb Takers are clever enough and intelligent enough to know that this probably isn't something they're capable of accomplishing on their own. So I think they would, as long as it benefits them, they will stay in a pack. But if if things go south, I feel like they wouldn't try pursuing it on their own. They would probably just, like shelf it for the time being, maybe. But Cree is a special case because I do feel like, yeah, Cree could potentially pursue this herself. She feels the most. Oh, it's actually so hard. As wild and zany as Otis is, and we've seen bits and pieces of the other members of the Tomb Takers. Cree, we haven't really seen much of Cree, but like she almost feels like potentially the most fanatical out of all of them. Now, even though that might be kind of weird to say, considering Lucien is, the Nonagon and stuff, but we've seen that Lucien is apprehensive. He is very slightly wavering. But Cree's got that wild look in her eye that you just know there's something going on. That's what's concerning to me, is that Cree is probably putting her whole life into this, maybe more so than the rest of the Tomb Takers. How does Lucien control them, or at least speak through them and share his dreams? I would imagine it's probably something related to the Somnovan, the Eyes of Nine. Maybe they're all linked mentally somehow, but that's still kind of a mystery. But my best guess would be that it's linked to the Somnovan. That's what I would say, at least. Not sure if Cree would turn. I don't know how the Tomb Takers are connected to Lucien, so depending on the mechanic, they could be bound to. Yeah. Yeah. So maybe, they're bound to him. What would it take to sever their connection? That's another good question. I don't know. Because if it was granted by the Somnovan, then only the Somnovan would be able to break the connection, perhaps? A knife? the classic. A good old classic. Yeah, potentially. I mean, hey. Anything could work. Anything could work. What if by destroying the book, they sever the eyes? That's possible, because last week I was kind of theorizing, or possibly, just simply comparing this book to that of like a Horcrux, from Harry Potter and stuff, where the essence of the Somnovan, at least some of it, resides in this book, which is how they're able to establish this connection with people. So perhaps destroying it would cause something to happen. I definitely think, there would be consequences to burning the book, and perhaps there might even be like protective enchantments on it somehow. But yeah, if the party was desperate, I feel like destroying the book would be a good attempt, a good plan. A plan B or C, maybe even. It seems very Warlock Pact like. Yes, Alana was sort of talking about that last episode, how we think that Molly might be subclassed as a Warlock because of this book, or Lucien rather. Right. So I think that's definitely possible. I'm scared for Empire kids because Lucien might control them / speak through them now, and it's going to be harder to run away from him. There are a lot of concerns around that. Adam, I guess we can talk a little bit about it now. Adam messaged me on Discord with his thoughts on it. All the nines have me nervous. Yeah, nine is such a reoccurring theme. It's terrifying. Um, oh, one sec, I'm getting. Got some. We have an update. We have an update for you guys. Okay. Okay. Hold on. Hold on. Pause. Everyone, pause. Hello.
Hey,
There she is. We switch this over.
I'm here.
Alana's here. Ba, ba,
Yay.
ba, ba. Oh, now I
Oh my
gotta get my
goodness.
cam to turn off the camera. There we go.
Hey everyone.
Hey.
Yay.
No biggies. I haven't really got into too much, so
Awesome.
we're still good. We're still good. I talked a little bit because I was interested on your thoughts a little bit about
Mm,
which one was it? Sort of Lucien using the conversation about uh, the party's goals and aspirations as sort
yeah,
of a way
yeah.
to judge if they're worth keeping around and if they may, align themselves with his goals. Because as
Yeah,
we know, with the commune that happened later on with Caduceus, how the Wild Mother kind of confirmed that Lucien doesn't need all of them to be alive.
mm,
This could have been his way of figuring out who is expendable, who could, be done away with.
yeah, yeah.
So,
It's I that commune too though, I kind of wish it had gone because he said, does he need all of us alive when we get there? And it was like, no. He said, does he need all of us alive? Oh no, it might have been like, does he need all of us alive? And then does he need all of us alive when we get there? I kind of wanted
yeah.
to need some of us alive. Like, I feel
Mm-hmm.
like it's still a bit unclear if he does need them alive at any point. But I do like that idea that maybe, yeah, it's, you know, yeah, who's worthy amongst them.
Yeah.
But,
Mm-hmm.
ooh, booty.
Yeah. It's really concerning. Um,
Yeah.
that Lucien's this enigma that we don't know what's going to happen. But
Mm.
then we were talking a little bit about Cree's motives and what Cree hopes to do. Is we're all concerned that Cree is kind of just like waiting for Lucien to just fuck up so that she can
Mm.
take over or do some
Yeah.
crazy fanatical stuff. She's the one I'm probably most concerned about.
Yeah, because she's very quiet. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like when we first met her, when like she saw Molly and she reacted, she seemed quite animated and she seemed quite
Yeah.
kind of like uh just like friendly. She's very different
Yeah.
this time around. Um the thing I want to know is, again, not jumping ahead, do any of the Tomb Takers have tattoos? Like,
Oh yeah.
has he let them read the book? Like,
Mm-hmm. I don't think they do because I think they tried looking for that when they first saw the Tomb Takers and they didn't see anything. But that could be
fine.
they could just have like one eye, kind of like Beau and Caleb, somewhere on their body.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
possibility.
Or like we still don't know too much about it because I mean Vesta Rogner read the book and her tattoos were
Yes.
fake. Like
Oh
so
yeah. Oh, that's true.
so it's like a chosen thing. It's like
Ooh. Ooh, I don't
yeah,
like
it's
that.
like I don't like
I
it.
don't like that at all. Wait a minute.
I don't like that it worked for Bo and Caleb. Oh
Oh.
boy.
But then, I mean, obviously meta-wise it makes sense because they're the main characters of the story, but you kind of think of like why? Like why Beau and Caleb? Is there something about them that the Somnovan, sees?
Yeah.
Maybe like things they want to accomplish because when the episode ended both of them were like, of course, it's us two, the one who wants to change everything and the ones who wants to
Stop that.
dismantle the
Like
the establishments and
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's possible that the Somnovan looks for people who have that like shadow of hunger for power in them, and then they use that as like a hook.
Shadow of hunger for power.
Yeah, I don't know.
My Tharas dude, like he's
Oh
like
yeah.
yeah.
Ooh, true.
Um let's okay. Have we talked about the start of the episode?
Not too much, no.
Right, because I definitely want to keep talking about the tattoos,
Oh
but
yeah.
let's
Yeah. Yeah, we
um
can.
yeah, so we got so much information about the Somnovan,
Yeah.
a lot more, and Lucian's description of them, and the fact that he knows they're this mad entity, yet I don't know. I'm really liking Lucian a lot more than I
Yeah.
expected to. And
Yeah.
so the fact that like even though he knows they're this mad entity, he's still kind of this I don't know, he feels like a puppet a bit. Like he feels like he's being tricked into a like
Yeah.
pyramid scheme or
Yeah.
something. Um so I feel like I'm gonna be sad if he dies.
I know. Oh, I
Uh,
know.
as long as he's not like maliciously evil in the end. I don't feel like he's maliciously evil at the moment. I feel like
Yeah.
he's legitimately
That's the weird thing.
trying.
He's
Yeah.
he's very driven by what he wants to
Mm,
do, and like everything else is, just background noise
yeah.
at this point. Um,
Yeah.
but what I found curious is because we've talked before about how Lucien is pretty honest with the party. He just
Mm,
lies through a mission in a way.
yeah.
Um, but what I
He's
found
constantly checking in on them.
yeah, yeah. What I found kind of interesting was, because he was saying how, oh, I don't really need your threshold crest. I can just go get another one. But then, when they had the moment where Lucien wanted to see the threshold crest to make sure they still had it, which also makes me think that he knew they were having the conversation of sending it
Yeah,
away, because why else would
definitely.
he never asked to see it before?
Yeah.
Um,
So
so
tense.
And then, Beau noticed the look of relief on his face when he saw that it was in there.
Yeah.
So does he actually like really need the one that they have?
Because he said like, oh, we could just go get another one from another site. So whether it's an annoyance of like, I really want to go, I don't want this thing to stop me, like I don't want to have to spend another 2 weeks getting another thing, or if it is, no, we legitimately need this one. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like he said, he's just super impatient to get
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Um, and also I don't and like to be betrayed. I don't think he would. I think he's concerned about that, like not loyalty betrayed, but like tricked by the Mighty Nine.
Mm-hmm.
So glad they didn't send it away. That would have been so bad.
Yeah. And a massive credit to Matt's ability to roleplay. It obviously doesn't need, more praise than we've been,
Yeah,
preaching for years and stuff. But uh Matt has done such a good job at like subtly increasing Lucian's tolerance
yeah,
level, or like decreasing his tolerance level with the Mighty Nine, in just very subtle things. Lucien is a lot. He started off like way more relaxed when they first met, but now as
yeah,
conversations are progressing, days are progressing, they're getting closer and closer to Ayor. He's been slowly, increasing Lucian's,
yeah.
disregard and attitude towards the party, because I wouldn't necessarily say they're slowing him down that much, because they've been on a good pace. Obviously, they've gotten lost a few times, but the numerous, endless number of questions that the party asks, they themselves dodging questions that Lucian is asking, um,
Mm,
definitely starting to make him a bit,
yeah,
bit
because he
angry
talks a
towards
lot
him.
about trust and making sure they have trust with each other, and
Hmm.
it's just I don't think there's any trust. I think
No, no, there's
it
not.
might be like a courteous kind of trust, but
Yeah,
at the end of the day, yeah, it's like zero actual legitimate trust
oh
that they're
yeah,
going to. And
yeah.
I think he feels though maybe more comfortable in that position because he doesn't sleep. He can kind of view their conversations, that sort of thing. But um, I think it's kind of more just he's being polite when he says like, "Yeah, we trust you," and like,
Yeah.
"Don't break our trust."
Hmm.
Um, but it's so fragile. Yeah, like if they'd sent that threshold crest away, it would have been
Oh, it would have been
chaos.
over. It would have been over. But then, oh yeah, because that's a great word. It's so fragile. Um, and what's so funny is that Beau just doesn't care that
Yeah.
it's that it's so fragile. Because that comment that she said at dinner, about, or when they're talking about how many cults you've slain, and Beau is like, yeah, and it probably won't be the last cult. We dismantle. It's just like, Beau, why would you say that? Like, I love you for saying that because it's so you and it's so funny. But at the same time, it's like, oh my god,
I was
this is
so
not what we
happy
need right now.
that she brought up like Hinogu and that aspect because
Yeah,
like I said, I'm like so on board the Tharis
yeah,
cult, and like there's so much that happened this episode too that was just like building on that theory. Um so like the fact that she brought it back, like, and they talked about it, the theme of hunger has been so ever present in the campaign.
yeah.
um the like Otis's grace, like before dinner,
Oh
like
yeah,
in deep speech, which is
yeah.
like the language that Tharizdun uses in the far realms, and it's like talking about, consume and devour. And
Mm-hmm.
I was just like,
Mm-hmm.
ah,
Yeah,
oh my god, it's still
yeah.
just going.
Uh,
Um,
but again,
yeah,
yeah, that's why I feel like Tharizdun still has his hand in this somehow.
definitely. It's okay.
And it
Yeah,
could, okay, it could go as far back as pre-calamity and stuff, because if Theris Dune was aware that some of the people in Ayor were wanting to create weapons to destroy the gods, that seems like the kind of chaos that Theris Dune would want to push along. And so maybe granting the cognosa specifically, these dreams or these capabilities, these ideas of different things that they've been
I
talking
mean,
about.
yeah, talking about like how their thing was. I wrote it down. They're taking dreams to make reality, like
Yeah,
dreams and imagination. It's very like aberration, very
yeah, yeah.
fantasy, like, and I felt silly thinking it, and I'm seeing people in chat say it. I was like, maybe they are a beholder. Like,
Oh,
because beholders
yeah,
dream things into existence, like,
yeah.
um and then at the end, again skipping ahead, when we got the symbol of like the giant eye, I was like, it might be a
Mm.
beholder. So I'm kind of
I guess it could be. Well, okay.
on
So
board.
do we know how beholders are made? Like, let's just say Tharizdun does have a hand in this. Could it be possible that like the Cognosa were 9 different people, but then like Tharizdun like changed
Yeah,
them and you know
easy.
turned them into a
40
beholder?
anything can happen.
Yeah,
But yeah, beholders are like, they can dream reality into existence. They can create nightmare versions of themselves. They can create um like living representations of things. I mean, they're aberrations, and that city, I know we've often said, look, seems very mind flayerish. Like it could just
yeah.
be this weird aberration force. Like maybe not a beholder necessarily, but something based off a beholder. Um, it's not good, whatever it
No,
is.
nope.
It does not seem right. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, I'm seeing you chat very far realm. Yeah, it's not good, and that's like Tharizdun's ballpark, like far realm and
Yeah.
just like chaos and like greed and
Huh.
hunger and all that sort of stuff.
But I guess it would.
Big red eye. What if the big red eye is Ruidus?
Oh, they're both red.
Yeah, they are.
Could
That's it.
be. There it is. There it is. The color red. Now we have to go. All right. Now we have to go back and watch all 122 episodes again to look for all of the red connections. We have all the
Yeah.
nines. Pay attention to everything red, because I think there's something to the color now.
Sprinkle.
Crimson.
Mmm.
Uh oh.
Sprinkle is Tharizdun.
And then where's our tinfoil hats?
Yeah. Oh boy,
About to
we're
get
getting in early.
yeah, no, we're about to get taken out by the writing team. Oh no.
What else did I write? Okay.
Ruby of the Sea? Uh-oh.
Oh boy. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's good. I like it. I like keep the theories coming.
Yep.
um,
Oh.
but yeah, I want to keep talking about like the dream and the
Yeah,
tattoos a
yeah.
bit later. Just quickly before we get in depth into what was up with the cake that was on Laura's desk? Do we know? She just had
I
a cake.
yeah. I don't know. Was it someone's birthday? Oh no, it was Talison's birthday like the day before or like 2 days previous.
Actual, I don't think it was a real cake. She was touching it a bunch, and
Oh, was she?
oh, it was a
Oh, it was a
dice tray.
dice tray.
No way.
Wow.
That's amazing.
So the cake was a lie.
Oh wow, that's a throwback.
Yeah. Wow.
That's
Hmm.
okay, cool. I was just like, I'm like, she gonna eat this?
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
the cake a lot. Oh my gosh.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah.
What were I wanna? Oh, one minor note because this is hilarious. Caduceus's squirrel story with rabies. Brilliant.
Oh
So
my
good.
god, that was when he's just like, it just changed, and they're like, did we get rabies? He's like, yeah, that's exactly what.
Yeah, that's what happened. It's so
Oh
good.
my god. Yeah, could like I don't know if it's because we're so used to Caduceus having like very wise, very
Hmm.
kind of profound stories, which this it was a good metaphor,
Yeah.
or a good anecdote. Uh, yeah, always kind of really wise or profound. He's just like, yeah, the squirrel got rabies. Very, it was
Yeah, it wasn't
very
some,
thoughtful for the anecdote he was trying to portray.
yeah.
But yeah, yeah, but it's good, yeah. And then the whole conversation of Nonagon is Lucian's rabies. So it's like
Yeah.
Lucian, Nonagon, Mollymock, Nonagon, Lucian. Like trying to
Oh,
figure out
yeah.
all.
Oh, yeah. Trying to figure out what the timeline was for Lucien's existence. Yeah. Yeah. What? Okay. What is? I just remembered that they had this conversation. Um, how Lucien like refuses and or just refuses to talk about his past and like his growing up in Shady Creek Run, his family, doesn't want anything to do with it.
Mm.
And then the other
I get the
thing,
sense he was like an orphan, maybe. Like he just
yeah,
didn't have a.
hmm
Yeah, that's the other
um,
thing.
the other thing, I for one, and I think a lot of people probably have the same thought, believe that Gustav knew Lucien before like Molly was a thing because
Ooh.
Gustav was just very sketchy like the entire time. And he really looked like he was, holding information back, not saying certain things. And he wanted to get, he wanted to get out of the whole situation as soon as possible.
Oh, I like it. Now there was that thing too with Gustav, bit midway through the campaign when they went back and got him out of jail. Remember there was a thing where Caduceus made an insight check on him, and we never found out what the result of it was.
Yes. Yeah.
Now I'm wondering if that was like, I can't remember what the question was asked there, but he was like trying to insight check him on something, but he got a long whisper from Matt about Gustav.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I like that. That yeah,
Yeah.
he probably oh, I wonder. Man, I've always thought Gustav might have been a Grinner, like a part of the Grinners organization, like that kind of underground, uh, like what Shikasta is a part of.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
but yeah, that's cool. I like
Because
that.
Gustav was, from what we know about, Molly's backstory and joining the circus, it seems like Gustav was, pretty quick to accept him into it.
Yeah. Lynn is pointing out. She's saying she thinks it might have been like an insight on why Gustav felt guilty. Which I can't fully remember,
Ah.
but I'm trusting Lynn. That sounds good.
Huh.
So yeah, maybe like why does he feel guilty?
Oh, because Yeah, because that was an after Molly had died, and I think they probably told him that Molly died.
Yeah. Ooh.
Huh. But then but I don't think Gustav was a part of the Tomb Takers. I think he may have just maybe known him. Maybe he was part of the Tomb Takers at some point, or maybe before it was the Tomb Takers.
Yeah. I've just had a thought too. This is like off topic,
Oh,
but
no
I've
problem.
just had a thought. The book that they read, um, it was a journal initially of someone exploring the ruins
Yes,
of Ayor, and then they clearly had some kind of connection with Summonovan, which then turned their notes into chaos. I
yes,
wonder who that was. So it was probably it
yeah,
could have been a couple hundred years ago. We don't know. Like we don't know
right,
when Lucian found the book because we don't know how old he is.
right,
Presumably recent, I reckon, because he would have found the book and then probably sought out Vesterogna. So I reckon within at least the last 5 years. But I want to know who that person was that went to Aor, got in contact with them, clearly made some connection, maybe had
yeah,
an eye tattoo themselves, and then disappeared. Or did they? What if there's someone in
uh,
Aor, like another Nonagon,
maybe.
waiting?
And yeah, as Violet Devi points out, it's written in Undercommon, which is Drow, right?
Yeah,
Undercommon
can
Drow.
be Drow. That did say though it seems like it was a cipher,
Oh,
so it
that's
could have
right.
been
Oh,
them
right.
writing it in common because it's not a common language.
Yeah. Okay, I remember
That's
that.
what I took from it. I took it from like, okay, they're writing it in a very rare language, so not everyone can read it. Um,
Huh.
ooh, like, what if it's like, what if they're still alive? It could be a really long aged person too. Like, it could be. I was stupid in my head. I'm like, is it Dylan Tversky? Like, is it is it that fucking gnome? I was like,
Oh my god. That would be incredible.
yeah.
That's interesting. I don't think it's a character we already know. It's probably, some new one.
Yeah.
Um
And they could be dead. They could just be straight up
yeah.
dead.
Yeah.
But it'd be cool if they're not.
Yeah, it would be
Although that,
cool because
that
we've seen the effects of exposure to the Somnovan through Lucien. He's obviously the Nonagon and stuff. And now we're beginning to see the early symptoms on Caleb and Beau. So maybe if this person still is alive, maybe we'll see like how far it's progressed. Like what if it
yeah.
begins turning them into aberrations of some kind?
And it might have that effect then on Lucian of him going like, whoa, okay, no, back up, don't want this sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like giving him an out, although that's a very kind of tropey uh thing. I'm not sure if Matt would do that of like it's like the whole, King Kong versus or Batman versus Superman. Like
Yeah.
they fight, then they have a common enemy, so they team up.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm not sure if I'd like to see that happen. But it could be interesting if they get there and there's like an even more evil Nonagon.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
oh, goodness. All right, what else happened?
Oh gosh.
It felt like one conversation the whole
Yeah, it really
episode.
did. It really did. Let me look at one of my notes because I had a couple of them. Well, I guess we can talk a little bit about the the stuff that led to the eyes appearing on Caleb and Beau, because the a previous night, um, Caleb and Beau asked Lucien like, hey, we'll give you something if you allow us to take a peek into the book and stuff. And Lucien was like, I'll think about it and stuff. But then like the very next day, the first words he says to Caleb and Beau, hey, you can read the book now. Here you go. So I'm wondering if maybe the Somnovan gave Lucien a dream that night and was like, hey, you need to get these people to read this book.
Yeah, that's what
Um,
I was just thinking.
yeah,
Oh, because there's that question of did Lucian know this was going to happen? Did
yeah,
he because he said there's parts of the book he doesn't understand, and that's what
Hmm.
made Caleb go, oh well, maybe we can help you figure it out. Really, it's Caleb saying like, I want to read the book, um, but maybe they're saying we can like, but Lucia would have to understand at the very least that that is not understandable. Like it is something that cannot be read without having the effect. So I can't see him giving them the book to read without having some idea that it would connect them to the Somnovan
Hmm.
and could potentially lead to this, what's happened.
Yeah.
Whether or not he knew it meant they would give them gifts like the tattoos
Hmm.
or not, he had to have known it was going to affect them somehow,
Yeah.
and that to me seems malicious. That
Hmm.
although he thinks it's a good thing, so it's not malicious in his eyes, but it's
Yeah.
a really shitty thing to do.
Because then, because for us, we view it as malicious, because we
Yes.
see this whole situation as a terrible thing that they're trying to do. But then, yeah, looking at it from Lucien's perspective, this could be his way of trying to like create, a stronger bond with them. Not in the sense of
Yeah.
like they are connected, but like maybe like a friendship in a way, like a business ship, a partnership.
I'm so
Um,
nervous because you just said make a connection with them or make a partnership with them. What if it's like vampire thralls, like in D&D when a vampire takes over a PC, like
mm-hmm.
they're so beholden to them they lose control. What if he's able to then do that connection thing with Beau and Caleb like he does with the rest of the Tomb
Oh,
Takers?
I don't know. I feel like it might be separate because I
Yeah.
don't think the other members of the Tomb Takers have any eyes. I mean, maybe they do. But I feel like the eyes are like a gift that the Somnovan grant,
The
and
rest of them seem like they're kind of just following Lucian. Like
yeah,
it seems like they don't fully understand what's happening themselves.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause again,
Okay.
it's like at the end of the day, it's basically just a cult. That's pretty much what
It
it
is.
is. So they're kind of just blindly following their charismatic leader, hoping for the best.
It's yeah, like I'm seeing in chat everyone saying like, oh no, they're just on the side, or no, they are a part of it. Like,
Hmm.
because we don't know if they are like if they have tattoos, if like although I think they've only tried to check on Cree and like Matt's like they're just covered in fur, like it's hard to tell.
Yeah,
Um oh, yeah, that would make it a lot clearer if we knew if they had tattoos. Man, I what all right, let's just talk about it in full. So like
yeah, yeah.
the dream itself of like the absolute chaos that they see, and then the eye saying like welcome and the thousand screaming voices,
Hmm.
it's not good.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would agree. I think.
Um it's very much a control thing because it's not even like a you know I don't know, it feels very warlocky. I don't know if
Hmm.
like I would scream. I'd be so happy if we came back next episode and Matt's like Beau and Caleb now have a level in warlock. Like
Oh,
that
that'd be
would be
interesting.
so cool. Um, um, but I just want to know because they've got
Hmm.
the different tattoos, which arguably seem to have different effects for Lucian. Like the different spots
Right.
on his body have different magical effects.
Hmm.
So it's going to be so interesting to see them come to terms with it. I mean, one, come to terms with it on an emotional level because this
Yeah.
is horrifying.
Oh yeah.
Um, see how it affects them mentally. See how it affects them magically. Uh, and just figuring out like what are they going to do about it. Like I saw in chat someone saying, "I hope they get rid of the eyes." Yeah, that seems to be the best course of action.
Yeah.
But I read on Twitter and I saw on Reddit someone's just like Matt's just given Caleb the opportunity to go as dark as he likes.
Oh,
Um,
I'm so
yeah,
excited. I'm so excited.
which I think is so good this episode that he introduced them to his memory vault.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
that's something they can use. Like they know they can ground him with those memories. I think
Oh, yeah,
so.
that's
If he
true.
does go
That's
like
true.
it does start to go a bit like dark,
Hmm.
dark side. But I think Caleb 70 episodes ago he'd be gone. Like he'd
Yeah.
be all on board of the not necessarily like this city's evil, but
Hmm.
this city has power that I can use. But I think Caleb now is very much like I can. Uh, I think he'll still might be a bit like, oh no, this is a good thing. Let's use this power.
Yeah.
But I think Beau will be like, no, let's get rid of it.
This is not
Um,
what we are here for.
so good there's those two characters too,
I
because
know,
there's
the
such
Empire
a
kids.
connection. They're
Yeah.
checks and balances of each other. I mean,
Yeah.
they keep each other so grounded. Like the two humans, the two Empire kids, the essentially like they're like brother and sister almost.
Yeah.
The way they fight and they argue and they talk to each other.
Hmm.
So I'm really excited to see that dynamic play out. You said
Oh
at the
yeah.
start, it's the one who like is seeking ultimate power in his domain, and the one that has always kept him in check, and the one that wants to dismantle empires. Yeah, so it's
Uh, I
too good.
loved all of the angst we got from Caleb this episode. It was so
Oh
good.
yeah, it was
Brilliant.
like it was that moment of too like I think it was a lot of Liam wanting to role play the memories because I think it's
Hmm.
that tower's been there for like 30 episodes now, or like
Yeah.
no, not 30, like 20 episodes at least. A bit less. uh I think it's been a very big deal of let's delve into the
Yeah.
backstory a bit more. So it felt in some ways a little bit like oh, what's up there, Caleb? He's like, oh, I'll just show you. Like I don't
Hmm.
think Caleb in the past would have been like that, but I think he's just like, yeah, sure, let's go do it. But it was so good seeing the memories laid out. Fucking Beau is amazing, saying I bet doors 4 and 5 are really fucked up.
No filter. Beau.
Yeah,
Someone earlier in chat mentioned that Beau is just completely done, and I feel like she's just not only completely done with Lucien, she's just done with
yeah.
everything. She's just
He's supposed to go with like Ford and sail on a boat. Like
yeah.
that's perfect. Yeah.
She's like, Lucien has ruined my date with Yasha too many times now.
Oh my god, it happened again.
Yeah.
Because it's like I was like, oh, they've got the tower. Oh, sorry, my eyelids are going crazy. I went too wide-eyed there. They're like, they've got the tower. This is amazing. And then they're like, let's just all bunk in the same room. I was like, you
Yeah.
motherfuckers,
Yeah.
come on.
No. I thought that Beau and Yasha were gonna have a moment when they went to the ninth floor into like the the beacon room.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm.
so I think Laura made a comment, and then
Yeah.
I think Ashley took that as she should make a move on Beau somehow
Yeah.
because there was a little bit of an exchange.
I think Laura was saying, I think she was saying it to Beau though, but it might have been to Ashley. It's hard to tell in the Toy, but she was saying
Yeah.
like you should have it here. You should do it here,
Yeah.
like the
Hmm.
the room, which I thought was hilarious.
Hmm.
Man,
But then because I mean, obviously, Caleb was holding back, his emotions and stuff during this. Especially when I wrote down exactly what he said. He was like, I'm grateful for all of you, but part of me will not. And then he, you know,
yeah.
just let it go.
I don't know if he's really playing into that like kind of photographic memory aspect.
Hmm.
Um, he cannot physically remove himself from those memories. And it's also that idea he was saying, like how if it's here, it exists. Like him having that concept of, well, my home is still here. My home still exists because I have it in my memories. I have it in my tower.
Hmm.
Um, which is where I think Caduceus is going to be really helpful for his healing, because Caduceus is like, no, it will still exist without it being here.
Yeah.
Um, it's not memories at that point. It's just torture. It's just
Yeah.
self-inflicted torture. Like
Hmm.
no one needs that. He has to move on.
But again, it's like the other part of it is that Caleb probably knows that it's self torture, and that's probably also why he does it because he feels like he needs to be punished.
This, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
which is also really depressing.
He need he needs some like no chaos in the world, no kind
Yeah,
of like pressing matters, no creepy tattoo on his shoulder. Have a good sit down with Caduceus for a while. I
yeah.
think
Drink some tea.
Caduceus might be not preachy. That's not how I'd describe Caduceus. He might be too religious for Caleb. Uh, Caleb might need like someone a bit more, a bit less
Mm-hmm.
religious to talk to. Like Caduceus has got the wisdom, but it's very spiritual in nature. I think yeah, Caleb just
Yeah.
needs someone to really
Mm-hmm.
talk to him. Yeah, Beau, which I don't know if
Well,
Beau always makes him feel the best, which is okay
and
too.
also,
Sometimes you need some tough love, but
yeah, true.
I could see him storming away after like a therapy session with Beau.
But Bo was going to talk to Caleb, but Caleb pushed ahead and then even said, "You know what? No, it's not. It's not worth it. It's past. I'm not chasing
Yeah,
you for this."
yeah,
Which
yeah,
just lends to her the whole idea of her just being just done, just
yeah,
over it. But definitely something that Caleb needs to come back to. Um,
yeah.
but
Because
I feel like going back to his whole, I'm grateful for you, but part of me, will not let myself be attached to you because of a multitude of reasons. But I think one of
yeah,
the big ones could be because of how like a small part of him still wants to change time, change his past, change the things he's done, and he doesn't know what
ooh,
he needs to do in
yeah,
order to do that.
yeah. Man, that's I didn't read it as that, but that's interesting. If he's saying because he was saying like I know you guys care about me deeply, and I appreciate it, but I still can't. So you're thinking he's still kind of got that idea in his head that he can't keep this tether because if he does
Yeah,
go back in time.
yeah,
Ooh.
that's kind of what
I feel like
I'm
he's
thinking.
already stuck with them though. I don't think he's at the point where he can be like, I'm going to break connections with the Mighty Nine. I think he's too stuck with them, like
Hmm. Yeah,
in terms of like love and loving them. Um, but
yeah,
now he's possibly corrupted, so we don't know.
yeah. I know. We may actually get the dark side Caleb arc.
We go grab my Tal'Dorei guide, but
Oh,
I'm not like there's some homebrew elements in there. I'm fairly certain. I think it's in the Tal'Dorei guide for corruption. Like Matt has a homebrew for
ah,
corruption. Um, and it's just like what if there is like a corruption arc upcoming like where they progressively get worse and worse.
mm-hmm.
That's on the DM stuff. I could have sworn there was something in the Tal'Dorei guide about it, but maybe not.
Hmm.
Might have been in some other guide I read, but yeah,
That'd
it's
be interesting.
super exciting. Yeah, if like there is actual mechanics behind this.
Mm-hmm.
uh yeah. um
But what's interesting
that's
is that because obviously these aberrations, the idea of aberrations that we could potentially be dealing with feels very, akin to Lovecraftian horror and stuff. Even Matt at the end of the episode was like, "Yeah, I mean, when you look into the Elder Sign, shit's gonna go
yeah.
wrong." Um, but I don't know if you've ever played Call of Cthulhu, the that
I've read
system.
the guide. I've not
Yeah,
played it though.
really fun.
Yeah.
Really, such an incredible system to play on. Um, but their insanity system is
Mm.
probably similar to like corruption, where like the more you learn, the more you look into this stuff, the worse you'll get. So I could definitely see Matt heavily playing into that, considering this all feels very Lovecraftian horror esque.
Yeah, it's getting scary. Like,
Yeah,
um, and it's feeling a lot more endgamey as well because this, which is scary too because I don't want it to end. But
yeah,
even with all the other things they still need to do, like this feels like it could be the end. It could be legitimately the end of two characters because they could go out poorly for Beau and
yeah,
Caleb. Or it could be the end of five characters because Beau and Caleb turn on the rest of the Mighty Nine. Um, uh, yeah, I'm so excited to see what happens. I'm glad Matt didn't end it immediately with
Yeah.
like them waking up for the dream, because I was thinking, oh god, they're gonna have tattoos. So I'm glad we at least got that little bit of confirmation.
Hmm.
Um, just the thought too of like, I loved Travis's comment as Ford saying like, "Oh, this is different." Like
Yeah.
two people
Yeah. This is
waking up.
rare. Yeah.
Um, oh my goodness, it was so good.
Yeah, but I guess I know we've talked about it a little bit, but do we think that Caleb and or Beau could be tempted to, you know, further this corruption, if we want to call it that?
I mean, yeah, I think it depends on what. I think it depends on what it initially means. So if it means they have
Mm,
power, if it means they have Beau, I think probably not, because she's been very adamant about, not about stopping this. Like
yeah.
she wants to stop it. Um, but who knows how it's going to influence them? It might take control. It might overly influence them. It could
Hmm.
be like if they try to like it might essentially be like a curse. Like if they try to break it, there's going to be consequences. Um, I think the fact that it wasn't a deal, like it wasn't a they read the book, they had the dream, it offered a gift to them and they accepted it. The fact that it completely took over and like
Yeah.
kind of took that agency away. And I saw some people say that online, like you should never take the agency away from your character and impact them in that way. I
Hmm.
think with Critical Role and Matt and his players, they're comfortable enough to know that that's
Yeah.
okay with them. But obviously, when you're DMing your own games, if you're doing something like that, it's probably something you want to flesh out with your characters a
Hmm.
bit first to know that that's okay. Um, but the fact that there was no offer, there wasn't the Sum of saying, do you want to join us?" or something
Hmm.
like that. It happened. It changed an aspect of their character without technically their permission. Um, so that's why I think it's malicious. That's why I think it's corruption. Like
Yeah. That's a
those
good
things that
idea.
are a boon are like gifted with permission, or like think about Melora when she was welcoming Ford. It was all like, I can help you if you want. Whereas
Yeah.
Ukatoa with Ford was very much like, no, you're mine now. Like
Yeah.
the malicious things are done without permission, essentially, like without the
Yeah. That's
consent.
good.
So
Good comparison. Yeah.
I think, yeah, I think that's why we know it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
That's why it's going to
Certainly.
be something that they're going to have to fight against, whether or not they fall into it freely because they like the idea of the power or not.
Hmm.
We'll see.
Yeah. Um.
Yeah.
But then I'm wondering if if this when this corruption progresses, um, if 'cause it is too soon to really tell, because then it's the whole giving your players agency sort of thing. If the corruption progresses enough, I want because again we still don't really know how Lucien came to hold
We
this position. So it's
we
like, did
don't
the
even
Somnovan then like ask Lucien like, hey, do you want to be the Nonagon or something? Or
we don't even know if Lucian technically knows that Beau and Caleb were going to get tattoos from this.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
he might have been like, the Somnova want me to let them read the book, or it might not have been that. He could have just been like, I'm going to let them read the book.
yeah,
And like he's either going to be like, yes, the plan worked, or he's going to be pissed,
yeah.
because they
And
took the
both
tattoos.
of those are gonna have obviously their own consequences and stuff. Because
Yeah.
if Lucien didn't know this was gonna happen, he may all of a sudden feel threatened by the party, and
Mm.
he might be doubting himself, being like, "Oh, is the Somnovan like choosing other people over me? Are they going to become
Yeah.
the Nonagon?" Because
Yeah.
we saw what happened when Vess wanted to be the Nonagon. We know how that ended up. So if Lucien feels threatened by this, then
Mm.
oh,
Yeah, it's so exciting.
it's
It's so exciting.
it's exciting. It's exciting, but it's like, oh god,
Yeah,
oh
it's
god.
terrifying.
And again, it just goes back to our whole thing where it's like every episode there's something new that the party has to worry about.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
what were we worried about like a couple episodes ago. Probably something like Lucien related, but now Lucien's irrelevant now.
Yeah, Lucien, like, he's there, but there's bigger problems.
Yeah, now there's even bigger problems.
He's a conduit for the bigger problems that we're
Yeah.
dealing with, that we're facing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Excuse me. It was like, we were worried a few episodes ago, like before the holiday break, of what the spider was in the cave.
Yeah. Yeah. What was that? Oh god, it was so terrifying. Beth and her cursed knife. Oh, we did get a little bit more of that cursed knife stuff.
Very similar to, I think, Liam wanting them to roleplay the memory room. I think that was Sam being like, "I've got a cursed dagger. Someone talk to me about it." Like,
yeah. Yeah.
But they keep failing their insight on.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's interesting too. Like, that was a dagger that Avantika had. So
Yep.
that's linked to some shady shit as well.
Yeah, that can't be good. That can't be good. Well, oh no.
Oh no.
What if it's because it's taking like your life essence? I'm guessing it's something like that. But because Avantika had it, and we don't think she had it before, what if Uk'otoa granted it to her, and now the more life essence that Sam loses or that Veth loses, Uk'otoa's influence over Veth might grow, and Uk'otoa might use Veth to kill Ford.
I think it's definitely. I'm not sure. That's really cool and terrifying.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if there's a direct link to Uk'otoa with the dagger. I think that'd be really sweet. But when the function of the dagger before the curse, what we even know about the curse, the function of the dagger is, if you use it, you can expend a hit dice to add additional damage, or like to drain or whatever. But then that hit dice is gone. We don't know yet, like, how you replenish that. That's not been made clear, and we don't know the curse part of the weapon itself. But I like the idea of it being still linked to Uk'otoa and like allowing influence over someone. But it's the core cut dagger, isn't it?
Yeah.
So is there?
Some people in chat are saying that she did already have it. Found it in a shipwreck. Hey, but if she found it in a shipwreck, that's Uk'otoa's domain, so,
It's the core cut dagger, right?
Core cut. Ah, yes. Because it cuts out your core.
Because there's the core spawn and like.
Oh.
Light Shore. Like, I'm thinking of the Wildmount guide here.
Yeah.
And it's like elder evil bullshit. Which Tharizdun is an elder evil. Like
oh. So then what if it's a link to Tharizdun? Maybe.
It is. Everything is linked to Tharizdun.
Yep.
We've established this.
Oh god. Yeah. Oh, I had a thought. I think someone in chat said something that I had a thought about. Can't remember. Oh, the Blight Short stuff, because it reminded me of Gimetti Costco. When I was streaming yesterday, someone in chat brought up when Gimetti and Jester were having their talk about the bug and stuff, the craziest thing they've done and stuff. Gimetti said that he was the only surviving member of a collapse of like some mines up in the northern region of the continent. Could he have been like exploring Ayor?
Yeah, that could be it.
Obviously, that may not like mean anything.
100%. That's it.
Yeah. Then what if Gimetti is the owner of that journal? Probably not. Probably not. Like, the chances of that are like so low. But
he was an explorer. He probably knows Undercommon. I'm looking up the details of Hollow One now. He is a Hollow One. Matt has said that that's what he is.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. aegis, you don't age.
Wouldn't he have said ruins and not mines? True. That is true. But he may, at that point in the story, he may not have had Ayor like fully fleshed out. And he was sort of just
Yeah.
using, mines as sort of like a filler. Could be. But that is a good point. He probably would have said ruins and not mines instead. But they may not have like known it was ruins. They may have just thought they stumbled upon like some weird like mine thing. So I don't know. Just a thought.
Where is it? Oh, I just lost it. Someone in chat just said they should go free Halas. Where was that? Because I was like, I'm on board. Who said that? Did it disappear? It could have. Someone said they should go free Halas. Oh yeah. The Major T. I say they free Halas and get his help. It will be fine. I hope we get some more Halas eventually, because that was.
Yeah.
I don't want to say disappointment, because it wasn't a disappointment, but I was disappointed that they destroyed the body, that Yasha destroyed the body.
Yeah.
Totally right call, you know.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Kind of like a bit of a murder, but at the same time, like, it makes sense because this guy is really dangerous.
Oh yeah.
But it felt to me like they took away a chance for this super cool character to come into the story. For all the right reasons. I mean, they've killed people plenty of times. At least his soul's still around.
Yeah. Yeah.
They haven't checked in with Yasha in a very long time. Does he still have the folding halls, the Happy Fun Ball?
Yes, he has the Happy Fun Ball. He has Halas. And
why would they leave it with him? He's going back in. He's probably still trapped in there.
Yeah, probably. They don't call it the Archmage's Bane for, no reason. Oh yeah, he also does have Willy.
Yeah, I mean, Halas himself had an astral dreadnought, so he's been mucking around in the astral sea. Like, that's not something you casually get.
Yeah.
You don't casually chain up an astral dreadnought. This guy is serious.
Huh.
Oh, what if like they go back to the Happy Fun Ball and the astral dreadnought's been set free, or like taken over by the city? Or what if the city comes back with an astral dreadnought?
Wait, hold on. This is interesting though.
Ooh.
So that in that room with the astral dreadnought, because all of these things are like little pocket dimensions. But was that room, were they just in the astral sea? Were they in the astral plane?
It's unclear, because it makes sense that it would be an actual portal to the astral sea, but I kind of got the sense that maybe it was like just another space that he had created and made it seem like the astral sea. But then you got to think, how did he get the astral dreadnought into it? But again, he's a super powerful wizard. He could probably do anything.
Yeah.
But it was very much because having an actual portal with a door in your study where like things in the astral sea could come in. Dangerous. Like there's just a floating door there.
Yeah, because that was then going to be the idea I was going to make, is things coming through the portal.
Or even things, if it is in the astral sea, even things just floating by and accidentally getting taken in by the dreadnought, they end up in his study, which then has the teleportation in the ceiling to his actual library. Like it's not a very great security system. So I think it might have been like a little pocket room that it was in.
Yeah, that's probably more likely.
Yeah. Which is
but then the idea of, if it is the astral sea, what if obviously the Somnovan are some, all powerful, all knowing entities, if they had somehow found out that there was this part of the astral sea where there was a link to the Happy Fun Ball, which is a link to this plane of existence, what if they then tried to make their way into, the prime material plane through the Happy Fun Ball?
And they might have known, like the Somnovan might have known about Halas. He was from a different city, but he was another powerful, I mean, there was a lot of powerful wizards, but he was clearly a majorly powerful wizard, enough to be sabotaged by another wizard. Um, the Somnovum, before they melded and became a beholder,
Yeah. Oh
um,
yeah. Yeah.
uh, might have known of Halas, might have known of what work he was doing. Um, but their whole, yeah, or maybe they were just too focused on their dreaming. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh. Okay. Hold on. So beholders and aberrations and stuff, they dream things into reality, right?
yes,
What if
yeah.
Halas was on the road to becoming a Somnovum, right?
Mm.
And he had the capabilities to dream things into reality, and maybe that is how he was able to construct the Happy Fun Ball, how he was able to create this Astro Dreadnought, all of these different pocket dimensions, because he just dreamed them into existence. Probably not. Probably not.
that's that's yeah, that's big.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think because Halas was from a totally different city, he
Yeah.
seemed more like a
Yeah.
typical kind of wizard. These guys
Yeah.
were like dreamers, but I like it. We'll put it in the theory bank.
We'll just we'll put it in the corner. We'll.
Trying to find it. Yeah, it's in Volo's Guide to Monsters. It's got a huge write up about beholders. But the literal title of this chapter is "Beholders: Bad Dreams Come True."
Huh. Nice.
uh, yeah, they are Birth of Beholders. I'm trying to just remember that how beholders are made.
I'm
Yeah,
curious who was smart enough to trick him into the gem. Wait a minute.
yeah,
Isn't the gem red?
red. Yeah, and
Hmm.
oh wait, no, no, that doesn't work. I was gonna say to get to the dragon room, they had to press the red button.
Oh yeah.
But that's inconsequential. He liked red. He was in red everything.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
yeah, look, sometimes the beholder's dreams are dominated by images of itself or other beholders. On extremely rare occasions, when a beholder dreams of another beholder, it actually creates a warp in reality from which a new, fully formed beholder springs forth unbidden, seemingly having appeared out of thin air in a nearby space.
Jesus. What the heck?
In exceedingly rare cases, a beholder, this is now beholder hour. In
Yep.
exceedingly rare cases, a beholder might experience a dream in which it sees itself in a mirror, or encounters several copies of itself, or imagines a sensation akin to what humanoids call multiple personalities. At such a time, the beholder's dream birthing creates a beholder hive, a group of newborns that are identical to its own shape but smaller.
Wow. Little baby beholders.
Beholders are whack.
Adam says, here's the thought. What if Beau gets magical abilities from her single eye, but is able to
Yeah, I love
retain
that.
her autonomy and use it to her advantage? It'd be similar to Percy's magic initiate, even after Orthac. Yeah, I think I don't think Matt will just automatically have them have a level in Warlock, but I do think that they will have a special ability. Probably nothing crazy, but a cool enough ability to, give them a taste of power, of things to come if they continue down this path to sort of, pique their interest.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And it's interesting too. She does get magic powers because she's always said like she's the one that doesn't have magic.
Yeah.
She's the non-magic user, which came up when they were talking to Halas.
Ah,
It's all
that's when it
connected,
all began.
man. Oh gosh, what an episode, man! Like,
I know. I know. Lynn was saying at the beginning of the podcast that this was like one of the densest episodes we have because because again, like you said, it just felt like one long conversation. Like the
yeah,
entire like 3.5 hours just felt like one whole conversation. That more or less kind of was.
yeah. It was just a continuing of like the day continued, and we just continued to learn more and more about this one topic.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Are there any other things of note, things we want to bring up about this episode? I'm kind of glancing down at my notes.
I feel like we've talked a lot about the Subnova, and I think we've covered it.
Yeah.
Like I wrote down what the journal was saying about the Cognos Award. So like their ideas of manifestation through dreams and imagination and arcana. They escaped to the astral sea. They were interested in beings creating with their minds. So yeah, I think we've covered kind of all of
Mm-hmm.
that. I did love when they were talking about their goals and their imagination, and just like, I want to domesticate unicorns. And then at the end, she's like, I didn't realize you were
Yeah.
talking about like proper life goals. I
Uh-huh.
thought it was different. That's
Yep.
really sweet.
Yeah. But then, then that goes to, my potential idea of like he was using that to gauge who he would want to keep around, and don't think he's gonna want to keep around anyone whose main life goal is to have a unicorn farm. Adam, you didn't do showcase fan art yet. We will not be doing fan art this week because I forgot to pick one out. So next week we will have fan art. This has been a week. This has been a week.
I forgot how time worked today.
Yeah.
So.
Oh
my gosh.
It's been crazy. But I feel like this entire podcast has just been one giant tinfoil hat theory marathon.
Oh yeah, it's fine. I felt like actually making a tinfoil hat of put and everything would become clear. But yeah, like,
I think
so many answers, and we're still. It's like
I know.
It's a season finale of Lost. Like we get all the answers we want, and then there's like 20 more questions.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh.
Yasha being called Angel Blood. I feel like that's Lucien just being like cheeky. I don't.
Yeah, he's being a dick about it.
Yeah.
But did you see they had a conversation, like a quiet conversation, Travis, Laura, and Liam, saying, Liam said, we've seen angel blood before. And Travis is like, what? And Liam said, like the weeping statues in the pit where Oban was.
Oh.
Where Oban's was. Yeah, breaking out the laughing hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Lynn. And anyone else. Lynn. The Laughing Hand. He was a champion of who before he was corrupted? Who was he a champion of? Because he had a name and he was like a fighter. He was a champion of the gods, but I think maybe he was with a specific god. I know there's like a.
I do vaguely remember that.
There's a delay in the chat. So Toro. Yeah, so that's the betrayer god he was with, but he was before Torog. He was. Oh god, here they come.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think because he had a name and he was like a champion of something. Oh yeah, and Stormy Boy. The whole idea that the Laughing Hand's heart was in the Happy Fun Ball, like
yeah.
Ganix, yeah. Did he have a god connected to him? I'm looking it up. I don't know where I'm going with this current theory.
But then because everything is connected, so Halas had the Laughing Hand's heart. We know Tharizdun was the Angel of Irons and stuff. So if Halas was a follower of the Angel of Irons, or maybe even just a follower of Tharizdun, or was corrupted by Tharizdun and was tasked to guard Laughing Hand's heart, and if Tharizdun is connected with the Somnovan in some way, then that would also mean Halas is connected to the Somnovan. So, it really is everything's connected. Everything's connected.
Yeah. Lynn's posting the wiki for us in the chat.
Oh, okay.
So Ganix was just a champion who was fighting against Torog, the Crawler. And was corrupted. Made him the Laughing Hand. Okay.
Wow, that's rude. Heck.
Okay, so Torog removed his heart, presumably.
Yes.
Halas somehow found it, trying to achieve long life.
Oh yeah, that's probably what it was.
But yeah, so the angel. But Torog is a betrayer king, a betrayer god, and His demigod, spoilers for the Explorer's Guide, which I know we don't normally do, but there's a connection with Islecross
Oh,
there, with Torog. There's a connection between Torog and Islecross. It's all connected!
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. That doesn't sound good. Oh no.
Yeah.
What do we do?
I
Why
don't
not what do
know.
we do? What do they do? What are they gonna do? Oh.
Oh my god.
Do we have any other thoughts, feelings, emotions about this?
I
I
have a lot
feel
of emotions.
I'm getting close to how Beau's feeling. I'm done. I'm just done.
I
I'm
just
done
want
with it
them to
all.
get either stop it and or die.
Yeah.
I'm conclusion to this.
Give me the Beau Yasha or give me death at this point.
Perfect. Oh my god. I like I like how eager Travis is for a fight. Like, because he's always
Yeah.
said he loves combat, but he's just like, if they said, all right, let's turn on the Tomb Takers, he'd be like out the door, sword in hand, sort of thing. Which I wonder if it's going to come to that, because Jester has said she definitely doesn't want the city to come back. She's adamant that
Yes.
they must stop it before anything happens. Ford is very much like, all right, I'll fight them at the drop of a hat.
Yeah.
But then you've had Veth has said, no, I want to kind of see where this goes.
Mm-hmm.
Caduceus is like, yeah, let's see where it goes, but let's be super cautious about it. Like,
Yeah.
he was very much on board of getting rid of the threshold crest.
Mm-hmm.
Beau is, I think Beau's very much just like, we don't really have much of a choice but to see where this goes.
Yeah.
Caleb,
Yes, they're all on like varying levels.
yeah, yeah, because Caleb is like, and because they've also talked about bringing Essek into the fold,
Yeah.
which I don't think is going to happen. I think Matt's kind of just letting them know, like, yeah, Essek's either unavailable or you're going to have a huge shift in your plans to get him
Yeah.
available.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah,
sad.
because he's kind of made it subtly clear that Essek
Yeah,
won't go to them. They have to go to
yeah.
him.
Because I feel like they've stressed in their messages, like, this is bad, like, can you come to us?
Yeah.
And he's had the same very casual response each time of like, come to me? Like,
Yeah.
it's, yeah, I think that's also I think of when you've got like a party of like level, what are they, level 13s, level 14s,
Mm-hmm.
um who obviously have super powerful NPCs, like, it's just a way to stop them calling them in for help all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because it'd just be like, ding ding ding, hey Alora, hey Yusa, hey Essek, come help us on this fight.
Yeah. But this was one like quick note that I wrote down, which I think is a really good idea from Matt, is the idea of like how magic is weird here.
Yeah.
And obviously like this probably isn't the only reason, but it makes it so that the party is kind of alone out here. Like they can't just phone people for help because, you know, they can't just be teleporting in needing reinforcements and stuff.
They've got the escape plan. I think Word of Recall would be safe because that's more divine
Mm-hmm.
teleportation. I think they could be safe to get out of there, but then they're out of there. They lose any control of that situation.
Yeah.
And now also with the tattoos, I think they're in. They're like,
Yeah. There's no going back now.
conclusion to this. And you know what's even more like insane? If this all, they defeat the Subnovan or they trap them away, they take care of Lucian, it's not an issue anymore. There's Vesterogna's still dead. Like,
Yeah.
they're gonna have to go
Yeah.
back to the Empire at some point and be like, member of the Cerberus Academy's dead. Like, that's
Yeah.
something.
But now this idea of like they have reached now the point of no return because they have the tattoos and stuff now. Maybe that is what Lucien wanted because he sensed that the party has been wavering. Um and so he was like, okay, well how do I reel them back in?
Yeah.
Well, I guess I can let them read this book and now once they're branded, now they can't leave. Now they are stuck.
Yeah, could be. Could be. What about yeah, like God damn, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. Oh, it's God. Oh no, yeah. So this think about like the narrative of the first campaign and
Hmm.
how well it kind of wrapped up and ended. But then think about spoilers for campaign 1. Think about the Hell episodes where
Hmm.
they almost TPK'd. Like
Yeah.
it could have just ended there. Imagine if campaign 1 had ended like episode what was it, like episodes 90s or 80s. Like
Yeah.
it just stopped. And we didn't get any closure of Vecna, or like Vecna did take over the world. I think Matt has often said of like what would happen if Vecna had
Yeah.
won. Um, that could happen here. What if
Yeah.
there is a TPK and campaign 3 is all about this world in which the Somnovan exists on the material plane?
Oh man.
It-
Oh, I don't want to think about that.
People have often said we feel like there might be a new calamity or a
Yeah.
new divergence. Like I
Mhm.
know divergence is the gods separating, but there might be some new thing that makes a new age.
Yeah. This could be it.
The age of the Somnovum, like the age
Oh.
of nightmares.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be an interesting campaign.
Yeah,
Oh no.
start them all in Blight Shore and
Yeah. Uh,
yeah.
uh,
Ooh. It's scary because we've never had a TVK in Critical Role. I'm trying to think of any major like D&D shows where there's been a TPK. Don't post any in chat because that's like major spoilers for any of them. But
yeah.
you don't
Yeah.
often see TPKs in like narrative shows like this. So it would be fuck it. It would suck. It would
Yeah.
so suck to
Yeah.
not have these characters have closure or
Right.
happy end. At least one happy ending, please. Yeah. The one shots have TPKs. That's fine. They're minor characters. You know
Well,
what I mean.
because obviously it's their game. At the end of the day, it is just their Dungeons and Dragons game. We're just able to watch it and stuff.
Yeah.
But
And it,
because it's this phenomenon now, Critical Role is this huge thing. I wonder. I don't think they do or would, but I wonder if they've had a conversation about like, okay, what happens if there is a TPK? Like, what do we do
yeah,
for the story and stuff?
because we talk so much about like the narrative, not in the sense that it's a written narrative, but in the
Right.
story we talk about the character choices. I feel like I sometimes forget it's still D&D. It's still like a
Yeah.
tabletop game
Yeah.
with the consequences of that. Yeah, yeah, that's true. I think Matt's not pulling punches. He's not going to stop a TBK from happening. I wouldn't be surprised if at least some of the characters, even like the more religious characters, had fail safes.
Hmm.
Like you can kind of write that into the story a bit, like of I mean, look at Vax in campaign 1. He died, and
Yeah.
his fail safe, the Raven Queen, made him an offer. Um, so which he could have that was an offer he could refuse. Like they could have
Hmm.
just resurrected him, but maybe she wouldn't have let that happen. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm getting out of my Vax theories now. So
Yeah.
um yeah. Adam, they're not doomed yet. It's not over until it's over. No, it's done, Adam.
Yeah. They're already
TPK
dead.
incoming.
They're already
Campaign's gonna
dead.
end in 3 episodes. Pack it up.
Oh gosh. You've spoken it into the universe, and because we're never wrong on this podcast.
Yeah.
Oh.
We need to go back to the Rumble Cusp arc for what the sheet where we said when we thought the campaign was going to end. Because I remember
Oh yeah.
I feel like I wrote it down, but I've lost it. But
Yeah.
we said when we thought how many more episodes there were,
Yeah.
and I think maybe Phil was on that episode, but I remember someone saying like 15 more episodes.
Yeah. Oh
Like
god.
nope.
Yeah.
But I want to like see how close we're getting because I think I said something like 50 more episodes, but that seems too short now.
Yeah.
But maybe not. 3 episodes TPK.
I know someone, maybe it was last week, someone in chat they think the campaign will end like this year sometime. However many
Yeah,
episodes that might be, the campaign might end this year. Which I think is, yeah, that's probably possible.
I mean, it could have ended last year if not for the massive break that they had as well.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah.
It could
Yeah, we were probably like
You got,
20
you
or
got to
30
think of
episodes behind.
you got to think of how much planning Matt had. Obviously, like it was a shitty time,
Oh
like
yeah.
and wasn't easy to plan things, but he had time to think about
Yeah.
the minutiae, like the details, because it feels so detailed what's happening here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited and terrified.
I know. I know. Oh,
Oh, that's interesting. Diane just says, I
and
think campaign 2 should end before the premiere of the animated series.
oh,
Is that so, like, viewers, like new viewers of the series could then start with campaign 3? That seems to make
oh, that
sense,
would be
but
interesting.
I don't think they would do that. I don't think they would compromise the pacing of the
Yeah,
story for that.
but if it lines up that way, that'd be pretty, pretty good actually.
Or it might, maybe the campaign ends before the animated series and then they delay the start of the third
Yeah.
until.
Oh, yeah. I could definitely see something like that happening for sure.
Is the
Sure.
animated series slated to come out this year?
I don't know because I think it was supposed to maybe not come out, but it's supposed to be teased more this previous year, like this previous fall. So maybe later this year we'll get more of it, but we don't really have too much information about it right now, I think.
No, no, it's everything's slowed down a bit.
But that's all right.
Yeah, we'll get it eventually.
Yeah.
Maybe.
We will. Just like we will get more answers next week, hopefully. Do we have any other last? Oh god.
I don't see Beau Yasha's date happening
I
while
know,
Beau is
but
tattooing.
but but also, but the inverse of that, I feel like now they will like push for it. Like Yasha and Beau will push for it because like, oh shit, I'm branded now. I don't know how much longer I have left now.
But what if she's corrupted? And what if, like, she's so preoccupied with this? I get that, the kind of, like, the getting married before going off to the war sort of
Yeah.
idea. But, like, what if she's corrupted? What if she's changed slightly, like, and one doesn't want to influence Yasha, or one, what if she's like, it changes how she feels about Yasha, she's so preoccupied with her notes,
Hmm.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's too much of a barrier in front of them now. Like,
Mm.
having that eye on your hand is going to cause so many issues. Oh boy.
What if Beau is just like fuck the date and straight up kisses Yasha? Yep. I'm all for that. I'm all for that. Oh.
My god.
So when do we think in 3 episodes, Caleb and Beau are going to be turned to the dark side,
Yeah,
and
and then the
then
TPK.
and then the TPK happens because of them.
Yeah.
All right.
And it was Sprinkle was Tharizdun all along.
Yep. Because Sprinkle is also red,
Yeah.
just like the eyes.
It just makes sense.
It just works.
Yeah.
We have taken a peek inside the writers' room for Critical Role,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah.
let me bring you the truest facts here.
It's
Oh, but I guess, oh boy, I guess if that's all we've got, then
yeah.
we can go. We have to cut ourselves off at some point, or else we will just
Nonsense.
spiral into madness. And
It will just get more and more rambly, and it will
yep,
be like coherent.
yep, we'll just be speaking nonsense. So we'll go ahead and end it there. Thank you all so much for joining us for this discussion. This was such a crazy episode. Before we wrap up, Alana, do you want to tell the folks at home what we've got coming up?
Yes. So tomorrow we'll be streaming Hit Dice Heroes, which is our D&D game that we play with our friends. It streams the same time as this, which I'll make sure I get the time right for this one tomorrow. 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on our Twitch channel. There's twitch.tv/Hit Dice Heroes. It's a really fun game. We're about, what is it? It's going to be chapter 14 tomorrow. These guys have just made it to Port Damali, and it's not going great for them.
We're on the run from the cops.
Yeah, and one of them just got stabbed. So,
Yep.
It's good. It's good. It's a lot of fun. And yeah, like I said, set in the world of Wildmount. Obviously completely separate to Critical Role, but if you like that setting and you like us, and you just want to have a good time, it's a lot of fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, super fun. Oh, and it's Maya's birthday today.
It
Oh my gosh.
is.
Well, happy
Yeah.
birthday, Maya. Happy birthday. Hopefully it's a good one.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
you'll see Maya on Heroes as
Yes.
well as Kiralee and Nico and Phil. And me.
Yep, and
I'm there
Alana.
too.
Alana's not there. She's just here to announce
It'd
that.
be interesting if I just stream you guys.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, how does the game run?
Oh goodness. But that's gonna do it for us here. Thank you all so much for joining us on this wonderful journey. Hopefully we'll get not more episodes. Hopefully we'll get more information and answers to questions next week. I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful rest of your day, morning, evening, wherever you may be on this wonderful earth. We love you all so very much, and we will see you all next week. Bye, everyone.